Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. Today we'll be demonstrating how to create these fun royal icing cookies. You can find all the materials needed to recreate these cookies in the description box, courtesy of our awesome sponsors over at My Dream Cake. First, I'm going to sift the royal icing mix into my standing mixer fitted with a whisk attachment. Let that run on low speed and then add in my water. Once the mixture starts to incorporate a little more into the water, you can bump it up to full speed and allow that to run for a couple of minutes or until it resembles the consistency of toothpaste. So it's nice and thick, it has stiff peaks, and looks a little something like that. From here, you can divide it into as many balls as you need to, depending on as many colors as you would like to mix. You can add a drop of AmeriColor Black Gel Food Color and then a bit of water to get it to this consistency. With the royal icing that you are not going to use, I recommend covering your bowl with plastic wrap and making sure that it touches the royal icing. If you're going to be using it for a later date, you can just wrap the whole thing into plastic wrap and store it in your fridge. For the flowers going on top, I've got my little rose mold, adding some icing sugar over the top and some icing sugar on the fondant as well. Press it into the mold. You don't have to cut off any excess so long as you grab just enough fondant to fit into that space, so you can save yourself some time by eliminating that step. Press it down nice and firmly to transfer the pattern, and then gently push them out of the mold. They're going to be a little bit dusty. We're going to get rid of that later on, and I'll show you how you can do that. For the royal icing, I have it in a piping bag and I left it to a consistency where it runs off the spoon in large clumps and it doesn't settle until you sort of shake it and kind of tap the bowl. That way when you shake and tap the cookie, you'll settle your royal icing, but it's not so thin that it starts to run down the sides and you just can't control the shape of it. So you can see how thick it is there. Use a little pin with circular motions to help move the royal icing around. Fill in any pockets, and then once it's nice and settled and flat, you can add on some extra decorations. This is a white royal icing. I added a little bit of water to bring it to the same consistency as my grey royal icing. Then I'm taking a pin and I am creating these little hearts by dragging the pin from outside the circle to the very edge of the bottom of the circle. Your hearts will have a little bit of a tail. If you don't want that to happen, just stop right on the edge and then lift off. Continue with the rest of your cookies. And this is a very fun design, by the way. Something so satisfying about just watching those little hearts forming. Here I had the kind of technique down pat. You just stop it just before you reach the end and then you kind of swipe up. Add a few drops of forest green AmeriColor gel food color to your white icing, and I'm using that to create the leaves for the roses and also as a glue to stick them down to the royal icing. You can use a number 352 piping tip for the leaves. I just cut an inward pointed triangle into the end of a baking paper piping bag. To get rid of the extra icing sugar on your roses, just take a damp brush and brush it over the top to remove that. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was useful. A huge thank you to our sponsors over at My Dream Cake. You can check out the link to their store in the description box and also for the tools used in this tutorial.